The Delahaye history starts off in France in 1894. Stay tuned to this video to learn more about this fascinating car manufacturer and their spectacular cars. It all started with Émile Delahaye, an engineer who started building cars in his hometown of Tours. More specifically at the Brethun Foundry and Machine Works, where he was the manager, and later, owner. The cars were belt-driven with single or twin-cylinder engines mounted at the rear. Mr. Delahaye even entered several races with his cars. His Type 1 became an overnight success, and because of this, he needed investment capital and larger manufacturing facilities. He partnered up with fellow race car driver Georges Moraine, and his brother-in-law Léon Desmarais, and together they incorporated the company Société des Automobiles Delahaye in 1898. The production was moved from Tours to Paris to a machinery plant owned by the Morin family. They hired Faget-Varlet as design engineer, and Charles Weifenbach as operations manager, and they were helping to assemble the cars hands-on themselves. Initially they made 3 models, the Type 0, Type 1 and Type 2. The middle-aged Émile was not in good health, and in 1901 he retired from the company and sold his shares to his 2 partners. He died not long after in 1905. Weifenbach took over the operations and much of the decision-making of the company in 1906. Faget-Varlet came up with several innovative inventions which the Delahaye company patented. Among these were the twin-cam multi-valve engine, and the V6 engine configuration used in their Type 44. He also built the enormous marine engine Titan that was used in the speed record holder speedboat La Dubonnet. After the death of Émile Delahaye, the racing department of the company was shut down. Mr. Weifenbach focused more on utilitarian vehicles such as fire trucks and heavy commercial vehicles. German licensed production of Delahaye started by the Protos company in 1907, and in 1909 import to Britain started. By the end of World War I their main income was from their truck division. That included production of the fire trucks of France. After the war they made an attempt at assembly line production in collaboration with other companies, but this soon failed due to an extensive and not very standardized range of cars. The company had to be turned around to survive, and their majority shareholder, Madame Desmarais, Léon Desmarais' widow, steered the turnaround. She wanted a new improved chassis line, and drastically improved horsepower. She also wanted to re-establish the racing department. This decision was made in 1932, and in 1933 they were back on the racing scene. Right away they started winning races and setting records. At the 1933 Paris Salon Delahaye were showing their Superlux with a 3.2-litre 6, and the sporting variant, the 18 Sport with a 2150cc 4, and in 1934 the 134N and the Type 135 came out. In 1935 they launched the Type 135 Coupe des Alpes after success in the Alpine trial. By this time Delahaye had many wins on the track, and this fact was showing in their sales numbers as well. So much so that Delahaye bought competitor Delahaye in 1935. Delahaye's other models from the interwar years include the 138, the 145, the 148, and the 168. During its lifetime Delahaye cars were dressed up by the best coach builders of the time. These include Figoni et Falaschi, Chaperon, Latournier et Marchand, Souchik, Gior, Faget-Varlet, and Portout among others. Towards the end of the interwar years Delahaye racked up victories in important races like the Monte Carlo Rally and Le Mans, competing against the German government-sponsored Mercedes-Benz and auto unions. The production of cars during World War II was at a minimum level as the French government ordered all private automobile production to cease as early as in June 1939. In the aftermath of World War II there was not much of a market for luxury cars. On top of this, the French government put a punitive tax regime in effect to discourage luxurious non-essential products, including cars with engines larger than 2 litres. Because of this, 88% of Delahaye's production was exported in 1947. Their production numbers dwindled and by 1948 the numbers were no longer sustainable. This year they tried to get back momentum with their Type 175, but since this was a car designed in 1938 before the outbreak of the war, the model now seemed outdated already when it was launched. They tried following up with their Type 178 and Type 180, but buyers were no longer interested. The models that heralded the swan song for the company were the Type 235 and the military Jeep-like vehicle abbreviated VLRD. Their competitor Hotchkiss had secured rights to manufacture the original Willys MB Jeep in France, and the French government chose this simpler and cheaper option over the more complex and expensive Delahaye counterpart. Since both Hotchkiss and Delahaye were struggling at the time, it was decided that Hotchkiss would take over Delahaye. This happened in March 1954. Just 3 months after this, Hotchkiss shut down the Delahaye car production, effectively ending the history of the marque. By 1956, both Hotchkiss Delahaye and the Delahaye brands had disappeared forever after having been taken over and shut down by the giant brand organization. All we have left today to remember this once proud marque is the few surviving examples of their magnificent cars. They remain as a testament to a different era in car manufacturing. Even today, the coach-built Delahayes stand out as stars on the automotive scene.